Are though?
Yeah, stay where you're at now. Okay. So we're here on the Kester matter. This is case 384243. Can I have appearance for the record, please?
Senator Matthew Friedman, 11571, on behalf of the petitioner and movant, Clint Kester. Mr. Kester is present in the courtroom and to my left.
Thank you. Your name? Dawn
Marie Perez.
Perez? Okay, thank you. All right, you can have a seat, counsel.
So, Judge, and I didn't want to waste the court's time, but I thought it might have been instructive. We filed just basically a memorandum on the court, just to kind of appraise the court of where we are. We thought the interview, while our preference would have been, and I understood Your Honor's order was clear, if she wasn't represented, you would not conduct it yourself. So we knew we were going to FMC. My preference, obviously, is always for the way Your Honor conducts them, because I do think it would have been a little bit more illustrative. But nonetheless, I thought in reviewing the interview, the key points that were at issue remain at issue, and you can still see this thematic issue. Our position is these boys have expressed clearly what they want, what they wished would have happened previously, and what they'd like to see happen going forward. And I don't think that means they don't want plaintiff in their lives. I don't think that means they don't love the plaintiff or mom. That's not what I think. But I think it does mean that they've decided where they want to be, and really more even thematically, I think they've decided that they want to have a say at this point, that they don't want to feel pushed and told. And I know that that's consistently been the representations of my client, and that's what he hears now. And so, given that it still seems, and I don't want to make this more than it needs to, but it still seems that there's entanglement and involvement between Mom and Cody. And while we didn't file the actual documentation because the Your Honor doesn't like that, we do have evidence that monies were changing hands from Kobe's bank account. We put that in there, and there's still involvement. Mom's still driving the truck that we talked about that was this gentleman's truck. She's still driving it now. We don't believe that there's no relationship. We believe that that relationship is ongoing and active, and again, it's her decision to do, but not where it puts these kids in the crosshairs. So what we'd ask the court to do today is just make the interim order permanent. And what we'd like to do is just give these boys teenage discretion. Just let these two, let them decide. If Avery is adamant that he does not want to go, or Kobe's adamant that he does not want to go, don't put them in a situation where Mom is demanding that they come out and do the visit. And I think maybe, there's no allegation right now that Mom's had the boys around Cody. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I think Cody's still there. I think Cody's is still involved with Mom. And so I think it may be a matter of time, and obviously she's under admonishment that that's not to happen, and we'd ask that to remain the case. That, whatever she does with her relationship, it not cross over into Kobe and Avery's lives. But we do think that's a real, we feel we could ask for more. But I think that's realistically what we need. Without this court doing too much, I think that's just enough to give the boys what they need and hopefully allow them to do what they need to do, focus on getting through school and being teenagers and grown up, and not worrying about adult stuff anymore. That would be what we'd ask. And I'll yield the floor at this point.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm here today to give you an update on my progress also. It's been 8 months since I moved out on my own. I established a job April 19th. I moved into my own place on May 29th. Since then, I've been going to therapy from March 30th to August 6th, individual therapy. And now currently I go through group therapy with Safe Nest. So I'm on that progress to not be in an unhealthy relationship again. Me and Cody are not seeing each other. We had exchanged monies because he owed me money, and that is the only reason. When he says what the kids need and what the kids want is two different things. That's how I feel, and I believe that. And I just want what is best for them, and that's also being with their mom and their dad. Not only that, Your Honor, I feel like they're not with their dad. They live with their grandma. And I just want you to put that into account here, because the grandma has continuously alienated my children, undermined me and my ability to parent, and fund her son thousands of dollars to have a lawyer, which now they want me to pay back by child support. That's what I believe is going on here, because now I provide a stable and safe environment for my children that they like to come over. We do things all the time. We hang out, we have fun, we go to the park, do what we're supposed to do as a family. And I really want to be involved in that with them, especially Avery, being his age. I would like to be there for him when he needs help with homework, things like that. And I understand that Dad is a popular place to be because they have everything that they want there. I understand that. And they have a really good relationship. Everybody's always calm and everything. But I have a different parenting style. They have a different parenting style. And I just was hoping that you would just keep that into account.
Brief things, Judge, I didn't bring to the court's attention is there's been a $300 unpaid for October and $700 for November. There's no schedule of arrears on file. It was not our primary motivation coming here. My client addressed that with me in saying that the child support's not actually current. And as far as the monetary issue, the plaintiff indicated that she was being paid back, when in fact the documents we have show she's giving Cody money, and it's money from Kobe's bank account. And then, and I wouldn't file those on the record. That's not what Your Honor's preference is. But I have those documents. I have reviewed them. They exist. It wasn't her being paid back. It was her spending her son's money to Cody well after,
It wasn't.
this relationship.
It wasn't to him. It's to me because it's a joint account.
Okay, so she still has a joint bank account then with him.
That was previous of whatever has been going on. What month was that?
I'm not testifying here. So our position, I think, is pretty clear, Judge. I think the record more than substantiates that it's reasonable. We could be seeking more. We're not seeking to cut her out. And if she's making the progress that she's making, that's wonderful. But we have some doubts, but it's wonderful. But I think at the end of the day, the court expressed concern last time for the children, not for mom. And the concern was specifically, these kids and keeping them out of this foray. And I think this is a way to give them a release valve.
I'm looking at your case, and I'm seeing that you filed for your divorce in 2007, came back in here in 2015, which is significant period of time to not come back to court, not come in, so you're not frequent flyers, so to speak, so I appreciate that. And then most recently, the hearings that I've been involved in. The children 10 years ago were 7 and 6. Now they're 16 and 17. And they have survived in your separated world. And I don't see that either one of them are drug addicts or problem children. So that's to their credit and to your credit for not letting them escape your oversight and things like that. It appears to me from reading what the boys want to do, and they're old enough to have a say in it, and what's going on here is that I don't know the boys well enough to know if they would exercise teenage discretion in a responsible way or in a hurtful way. I think that they are old enough, though, to have teenage discretion as to when they want to come over and visit mom, and I would accommodate that so long as they have at least one visit a week with their mother. I don't care if it's an overnight or a dinner or a something, but they have to keep touch base with her.
Reasonable.
Because if you're making the progress you're making, you'll become the fun parent eventually. Well, you have to move really fast because Avery, I lose control over him in 5 months. April 20th, I have no say-so on what he does at all. He's emancipated as far as my being able, he's grown up as far as my being able to tell him what to do. The child support isn't over till high school's out, but that's what that is. And then Kobe is right on his heels, so with only a year left. Yes.
But I talk to them all the time, and they want to be at my house every
And then
weekend.
if they have teenage discretion, they can come even on Dad's time. They can come anytime they want, in other words. So I would leave the visitation the way it is. They appear to like this visitation and should go see their mom during all of their visitation. But I'm not going to force them to go. All that's going to end up being is police showing up at the doors and further litigation. So I don't think that's prudent for these young adults. They're not adults yet, but they're very close. By the time we get into trial, if we had to go to trial next September, now Kobe's 17 and Avery's out of the running. So I'm not seeing any other clues here that I would do something differently. Can you give me something that? I mean, I've got to take
Maybe the fact that I am the primary caretaker of these children. I've always have been. Mm-hmm. Even if they're at their dad's house or with me, I take care of their doctor's appointments. I take care of whatever they need. They always come to me for what they need. Mm-hmm. Basically, I've always taken care of them.
It's already been determined that Leilani would have primary custody.
That's already been, that's adjudicated with finality.
Which honor
And
is Leilani?
what I have now is temporary primary custody, joint custody of Kobe and Avery. And that's what the temporary orders are, I believe.
No, I think your last order was temporary primary to Clint, but you got a visitation schedule. That would be your most recent
621?
order. The 621 order, correct. And what we're saying is the timeshare, which was significant.
I've got it stipulated here that the plaintiff is confirmed.
As to Leilani, that's correct.
Okay,
Confirmed primary,
okay.
and then it's
Stipulated there
temporary
be no
primary.
contact between Cody and the other two, and plaintiff had temporary primary custody of the two. Yeah.
Pretty substantive, and even if Your Honor was...
Truth be told, the boys are probably not at either person's houses very much because they were probably active young teenagers.
Kobe more than Avery, but yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Avery and I spend a lot of time together.
And you can still do that.
The substantive time...
Teenage discretion means even on Dad's time, that he could be over at your house.
Friday...
Anytime he wants. And if you determine that all of a sudden he's over there more than he's at Dad's house, that's when you two should be having a conversation about that child support thing.
And that's why I have a question about my daughter, because she's moving out of their house. The grandmother wants her to move out when she turns 18. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, well, Leilani...
She's a long way from 18. Isn't she?
No, Leilani's
4 months.
very close to emancipated, but Leilani's done. Custody with Leilani was stipulated, primary physical
Right.
custody. That's done.
Yeah, I'm
They
done.
can bring a motion if they want to modify that, I guess, in the next 4 months before she emancipates. But
The wrong
That's-
age. When was
I think,
Leilani
Judge, the only thing you
born?
were doing
What year was Leilani
Leilani's
born?
the
2000.
oldest.
In what?
April 20th, 2000.
That's Leilani?
Yes.
Oh, I've got this.
You have it just one bracket, Judge. You were talking about Kobe.
Leilani is 17.
Yes.
Kobe's a junior.
Kobe was born.
September 25th, 2001.
Okay.
He's 16 change, and then Avery's the...
Okay. It's an important thing. Let me take a look at this again. So Avery's 12. Kobe's 16.
Correct. We're talking. The subject matter right now is Kobe and Avery.
Okay, yeah.
Closed Leilani with finality.
Yeah, Leilani's out of it. I was wondering why that she
That's why
seemed
that
so
birth
young.
date was
Okay,
an
I got my chart in here wrong. Sorry. Okay. So the only thing that this changes, though, is that Kobe would still be able to invoke teenage discretion. Avery, I'm not so much into the teenage discretion. He would have to maintain the schedule that I've given them.
And he's, ironically, Your Honor, he's the one, if you read the report, and if you read...
I read the report twice.
And I don't mean if you did like you haven't. I mean from a reading. I mean he's the one who's even having the most... I think Kobe is far more likely, as it sits right now, to jump out of the car and go see Mom. Avery's the one that's really giving my client the most difficulty about going to see mom. He's the one who was, and I understand.
Kobe's going to be the most needy if Dad falls off of the truck somewhere and gets.
Avery, right.
Now, Avery is going to have the most struggles. So he's got to have more contact with Mom at this juncture. I'm not going to change the schedule. I'm going to leave Dad as a primary physical
Leave it as it
custodian.
is. You'll give Kobe.
I'm going to leave the visitation schedule the way it is. But I'm not giving Avery teenage discretion. He's 12.
Then here, and I understand.
And he's a video game person. He doesn't really have any goals in his life yet.
I
I'm
don't
just
know.
not willing to go there for
I don't know
Avery.
what to do about helping to fix it. This is my concern then, Judge.
If Mom's working on her issues,
Well, can we get some disclosure on that then?
and
that's
if
what I
Mom
want.
is as she says, Avery likes to come over a lot. I'm just saying, as she says, he likes to come over there a lot. Then there's no harm, no foul for Avery to have to go on the weekends. Even in his little questionnaire, he said this is the best visitation schedule we've ever had.
I think I would agree because it's going in his mind going in the right direction.
Right.
Right.
But you see, in October is when they had their interview, I believe.
November.
Was it October
14th.
30th or something? It was.
Their interview was
November 14th. Yeah.
And the thing that bothers me with that was that they still were saying that the gentleman that causes them the concern to go to your house was still there. So let's make sure that that's not the case. All right?
There is no. I don't want them to have any concern.
Okay. All right.
So just what we'd asked for then, and I understand the temporary order will remain.
Unless you want a trial, I'm not doing it. 'Cause
Well, that's what I understand.
I can't do
And
it.
I understand, and that's what I'll have to talk to my client about, explain the legal burden because I
For
get
at
that.
least Avery Kester.
I'm giving you joint of both boys, but I'm giving Kobe teenage discretion.
But you're leaving the schedule in place the way it was, Judge,
No.
from your last order.
My last order, yes, so it's not joint.
Yeah,
That's right.
it's
It's the current schedule I just gave. If she
teenage
wants,
discretion for
with
Kobe-
teenage
for
discretion
Kobe.
for Kobe, but not for Avery. And because this is a change, if she wants to have a trial, we can have a trial, but it's not going to be till like next September because that's when my trial dates are coming up, which is going to put it like way out of the ballpark.
Then I'm fine with, based on that posture, I say then leave that order in place as is, teenage discretion to Kobe, and then what I would just ask for is give us a 6-month status check date, and can she, I know you don't want to keep this case open, I know you'd like to close it, but here's my only thought. Unless Mom wants a trial date, which, because I wouldn't request one today, so unless Mom wants one.
I would like to settle this today.
Okay?
And however, I'm requesting joint.
If you're
custody
requesting joint,
of
and
Avery at his discretion with the timeshare that we agreed upon with the mediator that he decided not to take at the end. We came up with a timeshare, and then a week later, he said he didn't want to do that anymore, and the mediator called me and said they're
I'm
closing the
getting a
case.
real strong sense that this is about the child support more than it's about the
Feel that
boys.
way. I
For who?
really do.
She's having to pay, isn't she?
She's not.
But she's supposed to. And
I've
supposed
been
to, but
trying.
yeah.
Thank you.
that's what I'm saying. I'm
Right,
getting
you
a
didn't mean
sense.
from us, you meant it from, right.
Yes, that it's about the child support, and that if the child support wasn't there, the visitation schedule could be whatever it needed to be. That's
would completely
my
be
sense.
open to it.
Hmm?
I feel that the father would be completely open to it. To a time schedule, which we did come up with a timeshare here.
Yeah, they don't want you to have joint custody. They want Dad to have primary of the two boys, and with Kobe having teenage discretion and Avery having the weekends, which is the schedule that Avery says he likes right now. And if there is, and I don't know, let's just say, if there is a struggle with Avery, if he sometimes doesn't want to come to your house, forcing him to come to your house because of a joint custody schedule is not going to enamor him of you. If you catch
I
what I'm saying.
understand that.
If you force him to go, it's going to be more resistance, and it's
I
going to be.
understand that, and he is not resistant.
So
So-
I'll make this the temporary order, and we will come back here in 3 months and see if it's working out, and if not, we'll get a trial date.
That's fine, Judge.
But the temporary order is going to stand
Temporary
there
order stands
until
fine.
then.
Okay, we'll
Let's
file
see
a
how it
schedule for yours
works.
between now and then. That's fine. Oh, you're gonna
But
the
the
temporary
child-
amendment would be Kobe as teenage discretion.
Kobe has teenage discretion once he visits his mother. I don't care how long, but
long
for a
as he
period of
at least
time,
goes one-
every week.
Understood.
Sees his mom every week.
And we'll come back. We just need a date,
I
90
have a
days.
question too about the child support amount.
Yeah, I'm not changing that at this time either. Today's is just to come back and see, from the child interview, we had a hearing. You put your motions in, I made a temporary order. You guys weren't able to mediate. That's fine. I sent the boys to get some insight from them, because you don't have an attorney, we all have to rely on what the mediator says. So that's there. After reading this, I don't see that my temporary order that I gave is wrong. I think it's accurate. You still want to maintain the custody that you were awarded in 2015 or whenever that was. If you want to maintain it, there has to be a trial. But I'm going to put this off for 3 months, let you guys see how it's working, maybe come up with a better discovery, but I'm not changing my order without a trial. My temporary order stands until
with the
trial.
exception of teenage discretion to Kobe, so long as he makes at least one visit. You don't care if it's an overnight or not, but
Right.
one at least visit a week with mom, and then we need a 90-day date.
Right. That's what I'm looking
I'll
at.
prepare it to you, Judge.
That Kobe likes to be over there too. Okay.
Mark?
We'll see what
As-
happens.
I have another question too. When it comes to child support, and I don't have the funds to fund him, what happens in that case?
I'm sorry?
If the child support, I don't have enough to pay him. Because
then I
I
guess
took
you'll
out
have-
my 401k, I took out a loan to pay the child support to this man. That doesn't go to the children. It's going to the mother to pay attorney fees. That is what my daughter has told me.
I don't have the knowledge of what's going on financially. I only know that if someone has primary custody, temporary or otherwise, the non-custodial parent pays child support. That's the statutes in the state of Nevada. So do the best you can. I did the offsets, I think, already.
You did. You were very generous too, Judge.
Okay.
I thought very generous. You said the 6th.
March 6th at 4:30.
Okay, perfect.
Can I have your report back too, if I don't already have it, for the children's interview? We have them,
Yeah, we got
okay.
it.
In most cases, the attorneys get to keep theirs. In my courtroom, you don't get to keep it, because I think if the non-represented can't keep it, neither can the represented. That's the way I do it. All right?
Thank you very much.
Because we took your report back too. I took it back from the attorney, just so you know. I try to be fair to both sides.
Thank you, Judge. Appreciate it. I'll prepare.
Okay, do you have the order here to prepare?